What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best
Of course it
podcast.
is. What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast called What You Say, the OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly,
And I'm Scott Daly.
and together we're the Dailies.
You tried to change it up there a bit, and it blew up in your face.
It didn't blow up
It
in my
blew
face.
up.
Did I recover? Yes,
I mean, did you recover? Did you?
I did. And
Hey.
if you wouldn't have been so rude as to point out that I tried to change things up, nobody would have been any
Oh, they
different.
would have immediately noticed, Elyse.
Whatever.
This is the podcast where each and every month, my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama, The OC, episode by episode. This week on the show, we are covering season 3, episode 5, entitled The Perfect Storm. And
That's what we had the week that we were supposed to record this
my
originally.
gosh.
A perfect storm of events. And so that's why it's taken us so long.
a month. It has been a month.
It has been a month.
We took basically the entirety of December off.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I really needed it.
We have the most valid excuse in the history of excuses, I think. We were moving, and it was
Yeah.
the holidays, and Elyse is pregnant, and all those things coalesced
You know
into
what,
some
Scott?
sort of
I'm also going to
storm.
propose this live right
You're
now.
going to propose?
I'm going to propose something to you
Yes,
live right now.
Yes, I say yes.
You don't even know what it is, but you're going to commit to what I'm going to say right now.
No, I thought you were proposing.
No, I'm going to propose something to you is what I said.
Oh. Well, that's
So
less interesting.
I'm going to
What's up?
propose we figure out how many weeks until baby,
Yeah.
divide that,
There's
or
11
divide
weeks until baby.
a number of episodes left in season 3 by that. So we can try and at least get through season 3 before baby. And then we can do season 4 after, because we're going to have to take some time off when baby comes. And I don't know how much time that's going to be.
Well, babe, there are 11. That's like 2 episodes a week for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
We barely have time to watch 1 episode a week.
But we can just make time.
And then the episodes will be 2 times as long.
No,
'Cause
they
we gotta
won't.
At least everybody knows that the people come to the show for our in-depth, incisive, the Orange County critique and analysis.
I know.
That is what the people come here for. And if we just throw that away for expedience,
Okay.
they're all going to leave.
Well,
They're
I
all
was
gonna
just
leave.
trying to make sure we got through season 3. But, you know,
I
it'll
like
be
us to take our time.
next December before we're done with season 3.
No, we're not stopping. We don't stop for babies. From here on out, we are full speed ahead, like Ryan in his fisherman's boat, till we're done with this show. That's what we're doing.
It's not going to happen.
Baby will deal. Baby will deal.
What if I'm going to labor while we're recording the show?
I love that you just choose to yawn right into that microphone while talking. I love it. I love it
know.
so much.
I know.
It's been a month. I missed this kind of just expert audio from
I know.
you. A consummate professional.
But really, Scott, what if I go into labor while we're recording the show?
Well, that'll make for a great episode, I think.
Or while you're doing your book club live?
Well, that would
1
make for a
month.
less great episode of that. I don't know. We're
I
back.
mean, we're back.
We're back.
Sure.
We'll figure out this whole schedule thing. The point is, for now, we're back, and we'll be here every week for at least the next 3 months. No
Ish.
promises after that. Before we talk about the OC, though, we have something else to talk about. Which is what?
This is the real part that everyone comes for. It's just the rosies and thornies of our lives, because they're invested in who we are. And so they care about us. And
Who are we?
we're Scott and Elyse Daly.
But who is Scott Daly?
I don't know. Who is Scott Daly?
I'm trying to figure that out. I've been
He's a
trying to figure that out
weirdo.
for 35 years.
He's a weirdo.
Thanks, babe.
But I love him.
That's nice of you.
Yeah. So we're going to start the part of the podcast where Scott Daly and I look back on the last month and talk about the good, the bad, the roses, and the thorns.
I thought what would be fun here would be to do like a rosies and thornies of moving into a house and maybe of just home ownership in general.
Okay.
because that's what kept us away for the last month.
Okay.
So we should do like a whole thing about that.
That's fine. We can do that.
All right. So tell me what your thorn is.
My thorn is I'm pregnant and exhausted when it comes to moving. And I'm so glad that we did this while I was 6 months pregnant instead of 8 months pregnant, which was what we thought was going to have to happen.
Yeah.
Because, good Lord, I would not have been any help at all.
And look, I just want to preface
I was helpful
I just want
to the extent that I could be.
I want to preface this whole thing with the fact that I love you dearly and I understand that you're pregnant, but you were minimally helpful in this process.
I tried the best that I
carried
could.
a lot of things.
I know.
We hired a mover, so we did not, thank the Lord, have to do all of the heavy lifting ourselves. We moved over basically anything fragile, anything electronics, anything breakable. Basically, we moved over ourselves, and then we let the movers do everything else, which was, I think, the best way to do things, right? Because you speed up the time that they take because their hourly rate is very high. You make them go as fast as possible. And you ensure that your stuff doesn't break. But yeah, you couldn't lift things. And
I'm normally good at
to.
helping with that stuff. Like
I was joking for the sake of the show.
I know.
Did a very good job. You did a very good job. You were very helpful.
It's very hard for me because I like to help and I like to do things on my own. And so when I'm not able to do that, it's very difficult. Mm-hmm. And so it was very frustrating.
But it's done, baby. We're done.
It's done.
We've got 3 more boxes to unpack, and that is it.
And we can't do them right now.
Can't
so
do
it's
that.
fine.
But because I am missing one final thing, I am missing a shelf to put my movies on because the old one was falling apart, so we trashed it. And I got a new one for Christmas from my mommy, but it was busted, so we had to return it, and now we're just waiting for a new one. So I have 3 boxes of movies sitting on the floor.
You know what the other thorn to this whole move thing was?
What's that?
The fridge.
We didn't talk about the fridge saga.
We didn't talk about the fridge saga. That was part of what made me so just awful that one day we were supposed to record.
I almost don't want to talk about the fridge saga because I don't want to have to relive the fridge saga.
Let's just say it took 2 weeks and a
4.
lot of tears on the phone in order for me to make things happen. And
it took people coming to our house to attempt to deliver us a fridge 4 times before we finally got a refrigerator that works. It was a lot. It was a lot.
I don't even want to tell the story again.
Thank the Lord it's done, though. We have a fridge. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a very fancy fridge.
Okay, sorry. You can tell your thorn now.
My thorn of moving?
Yeah. Or did you do it already? You said boxes. You mentioned 3 boxes.
I mentioned 3 boxes. So my thorn of moving is boxes. And what I mean by this is post-move. Like, so you go out, you buy all these boxes, or you go to your friends and family and say, we're moving, we need boxes. Do you have any extra boxes? Do you know where you can get extra boxes? And they give you so many boxes, and you use all the boxes, and you fill up everything with all the boxes, and then you get it all over here, and then you start taking it down, out, and you put the stuff in your house, and then you just have boxes everywhere. And you just like
you have to get rid of the boxes.
You have to get rid of the boxes. And we recycle the boxes. We don't just throw them away. But we have a recycling bin here that they pick up once a week, and it is not big enough to fit all the boxes. And I don't want the boxes sitting around my house. So I've had to make like 17 trips to the recycling center. And I'm just so sick of seeing broken down cardboard. I'm so sick of it. I'm so tired of cardboard. I never want to see it ever again. And then like Christmas came around and we were getting new things like the movie shelf. We also bought ourselves a new bookshelf because we needed something to put books on because we have way too many freaking books, and that comes in a giant box. And then we had a crib for the baby that I had to put up, and that comes in a giant box with 17 little tiny boxes inside of it.
We're gonna have a shower that gets gifts, and there's gonna be more boxes.
I'm so sick of it. I never want to see another box ever again. This is the thing about moving. All of our family has been like, you're probably gonna move again in 5 years. And we have looked at each other and just been like, hell no. Yeah. The only reason I'm ever moving again is if I have to. Like if you get a job somewhere or I get a job somewhere that requires us to move there.
Or the neighborhood turns real bad.
Like, and by real bad, we mean all the houses around us have literally been set on fire and are just continuously burning. And we're like, this is not going to be good for our property values. And so that's it. I don't want to move. I don't want to move no more. It's the worst.
It is.
What is moving away from the worst?
Yeah.
What is your rose for this whole new house experience?
My rose was how helpful and how wonderful you were during the whole move.
Well, now I feel bad for making fun of you earlier.
It was just all the times where I got really tired or I felt like I couldn't do it. You just did it.
Well, that's very nice. I think like the way I approach moving is I want it done as quickly as possible. Like some people like move into the house and they get all the boxes in and then they just like, it's a slow, gradual process to unpack and get everything on the walls and get everything set up. That's just not the way I roll. I like things done. And so I'm going to do them.
I do too.
Yeah. And I know that like the part of me was I like it done and part of me like I knew you liked it was done. So yeah, I stayed up late a few times. I worked myself to exhaustion a few times, but it's fine. It's worth it. It's worth it to see that smile on your face as you walk around your new house.
I have a big smile on my face as I walk around my new house.
It's a very good house. I really love this house.
It's a wonderful house.
I mean, we liked it. That's why we bought it, but
it's even better with the new carpet and the paint.
With the new carpet and we painted it and our furniture's in here. I love this new office. I mean, it's a little big. It's a little echoey still, but
I don't hear the echo in any of the stuff. Okay. And I know you.
I do a lot of engineering to get rid of it.
I know.
But there's definitely still some echo here. But it's fine. I put up some stuff. I just turned as I talked, so it killed my voice. But I put up some foam behind me. Mm-hmm. Some noise
canceling
foam. We're doing good. We're doing good.
Do they have it that comes out in like rolls instead of those little square pieces?
I don't think so.
That would maybe be something that we could look into. It might be easier to stick on the wall.
It's fine. It looks fine. It's fine. Don't look at it. Just don't look at it. At least don't look at it.
I can't not look at it.
We kind of moved on to my rose while we were doing that.
It's okay.
Because my rose is this office. I love this office.
It's a good office.
There's so much room. My office in the other house was great, but it was very small. And with me and Elyse in here talking, it was always like pretty cramped, right? So this office is not as cramped. There's so many room for activities here. One day when I'm not house poor, I'm going to buy a VR headset and I'll get to do VR in here, which I've never gotten to do.
Oh, you and little guy are going to love that.
Oh, we're going to play Beat Saber. This is like 5 years from now because it's going to be a while for him. But he's going to get to play that lightsaber exercise game. I can't wait. We're going to exercise so much with lightsabers. Like the cool
And
kids.
me and little guy are going to cook because
in
nobody,
my office?
No, not in your office, but everybody loves a guy that can cook.
I can cook.
I know you can. That's why everybody loves you.
Not everybody.
We're going to get that Milk Bar for Kids cookbook. That way I have all of her cookbooks.
That sounds fun.
Let's order it right now.
No, not right now. We're doing a podcast.
Okay.
So that's our roses and thorns of the last month. It's been a whirlwind month. We didn't really get to celebrate Christmas the way we normally like to. We didn't put lights up. I mean, no one got to celebrate Christmas like normal this year because
I guess that's true.
The insanity of the pandemic. But for us, it was even more truncated because I think we put our tree up Christmas Eve and we took it down.
We put it up the 23rd.
Oh, we did. It was the 23rd. Okay. But that's this is house. I'm loving living here. I'm loving you. I'm loving us. Let's talk about the OC. Huh?
Okay, let's do it. So we're talking about The Perfect Storm. It's the 5th episode in season 3 of the OC, written by Mike Kelly and directed by Tony Warmby. The original air date was November 3rd, 2005.
And it's been a month since we've done the show. So like as a quick refresher on season 3 of the OC, can you maybe do like a quick summary of what's been going on in Newport?
Yeah. So at the end of season 2, Marissa shot Ryan's brother because Ryan's brother was choking him and trying to kill him. Yeah. They had gotten into a scuffle and it had gotten really bad. And so after that, Marissa and Ryan were not allowed to go to harbor. Well, it was just Marissa, really.
She got expelled.
Ryan was able to stay in. Ryan was trying to get Marissa to be able to still be a part of everything and involved. And there's this new dean that came as a result to disciplinary issues.
Dean of discipline.
With students at Harbor feeling like something needed to be done. And so he came and had it out for Marissa and Ryan and ended up like grabbing Marissa by the elbow, which made Ryan punch him because Ryan, So Ryan got expelled. So that's basically where they are. And Ryan's at homeschool and Marissa's now going to public school because, oh my gosh, nothing worse than public school.
Public school's the worst, right?
Yeah, no. Anyways, so that's kind of their thing. Seth and Summer are doing great. They have great banter, great times, lots of secret missions. They're trying to dethrone Taylor, who has now risen to her
Taylor Townsend is
status.
A new character in the show.
Yes.
Who is the new social chair, and she's having a secret affair with the Dean of Discipline.
Yeah.
Ooh, we found that out in the last episode.
And then let's see, Sandy and Kirsten are doing okay. Kirsten has come back from
rehab.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And they were a little rocky at first, but made it back, seemed to be doing okay. Found out Caleb was bankrupt, had no money left over. So Julie is out of the house and really in some low times.
Yeah. That's a great summary, babe. Great summary.
Yeah.
Now, let me give a summary of this here episode.
Okay.
Ryan decides to not return to school, aka homeschool, and makes the decision to take a job as a fisherman, which Sandy reluctantly accepts. Marissa turns to her new friends Johnny, Casey, and Chili to help her with Ryan's situation when he tells her he's leaving town on a fishing trawler for a few months at sea. Meanwhile, Summer and Seth team up to try to reveal the romantic tryst between the nasty Dean Hess and the conniving Taylor. When Sandy learns about this, he uses his illegal skills and poker face tactics to play hardball with Dean Hess to let Ryan back at Harbor High, while Seth and Summer confront Taylor. Also, Charlotte finds out about Julie's downfall, now living in a Fleabag motel, and uses this to recruit her as her co-conspirator to plan another scam to try to rip off Kirsten and the Newport community.
That doesn't really speak much truth.
It's kind of accurate.
Well, she's not using Julie in order to...
Isn't she trying to scam Julie? I mean,
yeah, she's trying to scam Julie. She's not trying to have Julie be her, like...
But I don't know if she is trying to scam Julie because Julie doesn't have any money. Okay, we're going to talk about this. Okay. We're going to talk about this. Okay. But I want to know what your thoughts on the episode were. It had been a month since we watched this episode, so we had to watch it again just before we recorded. Mm-hmm. What did you think of The Perfect Storm?
Let's see. What can I say about The Perfect Storm? So there are some really fun storylines in season 3 that I appreciate. And one of them is the introduction of the character Taylor. And I really like what they have done in the storyline with Taylor in this episode.
Sure.
And how it involves the Seth and Summer dynamic as well. I feel like that is the most interesting part to the episode for me. And if I were on my phone, it was during the times where that was not a part of the show.
Which I can confirm you were. Yes.
And every time that was once again a part of the show, I would want to rewatch it because it was the fun part for me.
Sure.
So there were things I liked. There were things I didn't like, as always.
Yeah, not my favorite episode either. I mean, there were certainly fun parts of it. I think there's a meal. I think it's Ryan's going away party. It's just a dinner that is like the most awkward dinner in the history of the show, and I think it's perfect. This is like the show of product placement. This is the episode that was sponsored by the Motorola Sidekick 2, which was one of those.
I mean, that was the it phone, Scott.
It was one of the ones. This is going to be for only a segment of our population that remembers a time before smartphones, but it was the one that like the top flipped and there was a keyboard underneath it. So like
hidden.
Yeah, the keyboard was hidden under the screen, which would flip up and over, and so you just flip it and then you go. But there's like 8 of those in this episode, and I think Summer says the word sidekick like 3 times while looking at the camera. Very obvious product placement episode. I'd found, especially because like we had to come back and watch it again before we did this episode. I think watching it the second time really cemented this as a pretty boring episode for me overall, which is kind of crazy because like I was so into the reveal that Taylor and the Dean had a thing going on. And then I found the resolution of that came very fast and almost by design anticlimactic. I just didn't think it was very fun at all. I mean, like they get a sidekick too, and they trick Taylor into texting about the Dean. Then Sandy just lies and pretends like he has pictures of
he does.
the Dean with making out with this girl, and he just bluffs to the Dean, and the Dean falls for it.
Way to go, Sandman.
And then that's the end. I mean, maybe that's not the end. Maybe they're going to do some more stuff, but it certainly seems like the episode ends with Ryan back at school. Everything's going back to normal, sort of, on the Ryan front. I will say, and we're going to get into this, Ryan just deciding that he's going to go be a fisherman is like the best thing ever. I think like it used to annoy me how stupid Ryan was, but now it just makes me laugh how stupid Ryan is because he's really stupid and he makes really stupid decisions and I love it. So definitely enjoyed that part. But yeah, I think average episode overall. Not great. I
think we had determined that he does not have common sense.
No, he does
Street
not.
Smarts. He's got the street smarts, but not the common sense. And that's what people say. You either have street smarts or you have common sense. Mm-hmm. No, they say book smarts or street smarts. Which one do you think you have more of? Are you more book smart or are you more street smart?
I'm definitely more book smart.
What do you think about me?
You got the street smarts.
I think I got the street smarts.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I don't think it's binary, right? I don't know. I think there are some things that I have really good street smarts on, and there's some things I don't have very good street smarts on, and same with book smarts. But I think if you average it out overall, you're better than me at that. But I know more things that I read in books than you do.
Not that I'm not book smart.
No, I didn't say that.
Yes.
That's what I mean. It's not like either or.
Yes.
All right, Elyse, let's move on to our rosies and thornies of this here episode.
Okay.
What is your thorn?
So if you've listened to the show before, you know how much I love Julie Cooper.
Yeah,
Julie
we both do.
Cooper Nickel. And Julie has hit some pretty hard times this season where the end of last season, Caleb died, but then Jimmy came back this season, made her think that she was going to be with him again. Then he left.
What a dick.
She found out Caleb had no money now.
What a dick.
And so she has to lose everything. And so like for a character who was on top for a while, at least as on top as she could be, she's pretty low. Mm-hmm. And she has gone back to just about where she came from. I forget where was it that they made fun of it the first season. Remember when she was like talking about how Ryan was from Chino and everyone was like, or Sandy said, "Oh yeah, aren't you from?"
I don't remember.
I can't remember
she's
it.
From a
but
poor,
she's from
poor city surrounding Los Angeles.
So like she's without having the introduction of this new Charlotte character is already down enough, and they could do something with her already down enough. And it just, I'm not a fan of the Charlotte character. I'm not really a fan of that storyline. And the fact that they're choosing now to go to Julie, who is, yes, desperate enough because she needs something, but she's also been beaten down quite a bit this past season. And so it just pick something different to beat down.
So we have to break this down because I don't think I understand it. So I'm gonna say what I think is happening here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or right. It seems like Charlotte's whole deal is she went to rehab to find a rich, desperate person that she could manipulate into taking their money. She found Kirsten. She knew about Kirsten's father, so she was attempting to manipulate Kirsten to try to get all that daddy money. Mm-hmm. Daddy didn't have any money. So she's like, fuck, what do I do? And then she found Julie, who is a desperate woman, and say, this is a perfect person to manipulate. But Julie don't have no money, so she can't be trying to get money from Julie herself. So in this episode,
Julie has connections.
she buys Julie a condo. I don't know where she got the money to do that because this is a beachside condominium in Newport. So probably $1 million. Like that, and that's on the low end, I think, right? Like probably $1 million for this place that this person, this con artist, has bought. Now maybe she didn't actually buy it. They don't explain how she purchased this thing. And the episode kind of ends that like she's now recruited, like this summary said, that she's kind of recruited Julie now, and because now Julie owes her a favor. And I'm guessing they're going to work how that favor is going to be repaid. I just don't know what she's doing. Like,
well, we'll find out, Scott.
I don't understand it. I don't understand, Charlotte.
We'll find out.
This just seems like the dumbest con ever. If my con on you involves me purchasing you a multi-million-dollar home for you, I feel like I'm the one being conned. I don't know.
Well, I don't want to tell you any, like,
I know,
yeah,
I know. But like, am I correct as of this episode of what we understand right now?
From what you understand has been done, yes.
It doesn't make sense to me. And I agree with you. I don't like it.
It's just like,
it sucks
just
for
frustrating.
Julie. It really does suck for Julie.
And I mean, you can make Julie's character be down at the bottom and still go down deeper without having to have this con artist character in here.
Well, I mean, I guess it to me, it's going to depend on what they do with it. Because if it's Julie just getting manipulated and getting fucked over again, that's going to bum me out. If it's Julie like figures out that she's being conned and then willingly joins the con to get back at Newport and to try to get back into the good graces of everyone, I could be down with that because that seems like a very Julie move.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's going to blow up in her face, but I could be down with that storyline as long as she's active in it. I just don't want to see Julie taken advantage of again. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's my thorn. And I'm glad you didn't like it either.
No, I don't like it.
But I also don't like your thorn. I think that was my thorn one time.
I think, yeah, the problem with taking a month off is you might just redo stuff.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I don't like Marissa's Newport High friends.
Yeah.
I don't like them. And we see more of them, and they keep trying to shoehorn them into plot points in this thing. And I don't know where that's going to go. But we have Johnny, who, like, definitely has a thing for Marissa.
But he has a girlfriend, Scott.
But he has a girlfriend. But the show keeps doing these like lingering shots on Johnny when they're talking about Ryan that make you seem like he definitely. And then he does this really shady thing where he hears that Ryan needs a job and he's the one that offers the fishing boat. It's like, oh, so Johnny just happened to find Ryan a job that means he'll be gone for months at a time. Oh. Thanks, Ryan.
I do think Johnny. He was legitimately just trying to help for that.
All right. I see. I don't know. And Chili, like we said this when he was first introduced, he's the low budget Seth Cohen and he's awful. Mm-hmm. He's awful. Mm-hmm. Like there's a quote, like, remember we had the Is Seth Creepy thing? Mm-hmm. I think we need to institute an Is Chili Creepy segment on the show.
Okay.
And the answer is always going to be yes.
Yeah.
Because everything he does is creepy. Like he meets Ryan Atwood for the first time. Imagine if you talk to a girl twice, she's in your friend group now, and then you meet her boyfriend for the first time. And the first thing he says to her is, "Hey buddy, if you die, I'll take care of your woman for you." And I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's almost like, you remember, I think it was last season when Summer was dating that one guy that was just too big. His humor was too big.
Oh yeah, the Ace Ventura, Jim Carrey.
But I would much rather have that type of character than this one, who they're just legitimately trying to have the copycat of.
It's like
at least they gave him his own personality that was too big and too much, and we knew that, as opposed to the trying to make the mirror image.
It's like when they wrote the script, they wrote, instead of writing a joke for Chili, they just wrote insert joke here and just figured that they'd figure it out before they shot the episode. And then they didn't. So the scene is supposed to be revolving around the fact that he's a funny guy who said funny, awkward things, but they're not, and they're just bad.
And Adam Brody can actually ad-lib and make that stuff up, and this character obviously can't.
Yeah.
And doesn't have that natural chemistry on the screen, so that's probably part of the problem, too.
Also, his name is Chili. That's just...
Yeah, it's weird.
Ugh, hate it.
Yeah.
Ugh. So let's talk about the good things, though. There were good parts of this episode, so I want to talk about them. Yeah. So what was your favorite part of this week's episode?
So my favorite part is that... Well, okay, so not favorite part that Ryan is back in school and he's not leaving, but I'm really excited that even though the show decided to keep him here, it's still at a separate school, not with Marissa. And I like that because I get frustrated with the whole Ryan Marissa relationship anyway. And so at least having a separate school is going to hopefully keep them having their own separate identities for a little bit so that they can learn what it is to be their own people as opposed to just reliant on each other.
Yeah.
It sets it up for the ability to do that. Now, I say that. Will they do that? We will have to watch to find out. But I appreciate that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, the show kind of goes back to the status quo by episode 5 by having Ryan return to the school, which is it's really hard to have a show where everyone's in separate locations all the time because it's expensive to have that many locations. And so they need all the characters in the same location. That's why Friends has Central Park, is because it's easy to just have 3 locations. It saves money. So they needed Ryan to get back to the school eventually so they could do more scenes at the school. But I agree with you that keeping Marissa, not restoring that status quo, I think was a good move.
Yeah.
And I am interested to see, obviously we just talked about with Marissa not at the school comes these new friends that I do not like.
Exactly. I agree with you on that.
But I'm interested to I think this is a way of changing up the dynamic and doing something with the character that's interesting in a way that I just don't know if they've been able to do. I feel like Marissa's been spinning her wheels for 3 seasons, and I want...
She's plateaued.
Yeah, they need to do something interesting with the character, and I think this is an opportunity to do it. So we'll see. I don't know, but I agree with you. Ryan getting to go back to the school is nice because I thought I've always felt like the whole homeschool thing was so half-assed. They hired an actress to play the homeschool teacher, but I don't think we ever saw her talk once. They didn't really want to bother with it. And maybe it's because they knew they were going to reverse it really quick. But
if only there were virtual learning.
Plus, also, I want to see Ryan succeed, baby. And I need to see my boy go to a good school and then get into a good college.
Okay.
Despite that fact,
well, they're seniors, so we'll see if he does.
Despite that fact, though, Ryan is going to be a fisherman. And that's my rose.
He's going to smell like fish.
My rose is Ryan the fisherman. We talked about this in the summary section, but this is just great. So what happens in this week's episode is that Ryan is going back to the high school for career day, basically. Not career day, for college...
preview day.
Yeah, college preview day. All the colleges are coming to the school. It's an open event, so even though he was expelled, he's allowed to go to this because it's an open event. But we learn that the dean has put a note on his permanent record that is going to scare away any good school from dealing with him. He calls him emotionally disturbed, which I guess are counselors allowed to just unilaterally put notes on people's records like that? Does it need I feel like it would need approval by the board.
The only place that it would be
principal?
able to go that a college would have it is the transcript. And can that go on a transcript? I am not for sure.
Is there such a thing as a permanent record? All the television shows I grew up with in the 90s talked about this will go on your permanent record. Is that a thing?
You have a cumulative file that goes with you to each school, but to my knowledge,
colleges see that?
Not to my knowledge.
Huh. Okay.
I mean, they have
blowing my
access
mind.
to all of the grades and then the discipline reports. I mean, if there's anything beyond like the actual school, like for example, they wouldn't know about detentions, but they'd know if you got arrested on school property.
Well, that makes sense. That's like legal
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
And you'd have to report that. So as long as it's just something that happened at school, I don't think they can do anything.
I mean, they would say that he got expelled from that school, right?
It would.
But you can't attach an additional, like, he's going to psychoanalyze this
When
kid.
you withdraw from a school, there is a code for why you have to withdraw. And so depending upon what
So
code.
maybe that he just put in the comments of that he just decided to become a psychologist and analyze why Ryan is this
we're
way.
not like, it's not I will say private school is different than public school. I don't know what they can put on the things that we couldn't, but ours we would not be able to.
This is neither here nor there. The point is, the dean is going to ruin Ryan's life and make it so no college will touch him. Ryan hears this, and what does Ryan do? Does he behave like a rational human being and be like, "Oh, well, that sucks. Maybe there's something I can do about this." Even later in the show, Sandy is like, "You could go to like a 2-year community college, prove that you can hack it, and then transfer from a community college to a 4-year university from there and do well." And even the thing that frustrates me, Ryan Atwood comes from a family that's never been to college. Even a 2-year community college for Ryan would be a huge opportunity that he never would have had had he remained home. So like even that is a big freaking deal. But Ryan's choice is to go, fuck it, I'm quitting school forever and I'm going to go be a fisherman on a boat, which is something I know nothing about. And I have never showed an interest
As
in.
a minor who had to even ask for permission in order to do
and Sandy
it.
gives him permission because he's trying the kind of hands-off parenting. where
Sandy mind
allowing
meld.
Yeah, that's what he calls it, the Sandy mind meld.
What are you going to call yours? The Scott mind meld?
The listen to me, you little brat.
Okay.
Look what you did, you little jerk. It's going to call the Uncle Frank from Home Alone method of parenting.
Okay.
I have to say the Uncle Frank from Home Alone method of parenting and not just the Uncle Frank method of parenting, because I was talking about Uncle Frank from Home Alone on Twitter and my family thought I was talking about the new movie Uncle Frank. And so they watched it thinking I was recommending it. And I hadn't seen that movie. So the Uncle Frank from Home Alone method of parenting.
Maybe just the Home Alone method of parenting.
Which is, as we see in that movie, just a really quality parenting style that results in no bad things happening ever. So I love that Ryan decides to be a fisherman for no fucking good reason. Doesn't know how to fish at all. I love the awkward scene where like Marissa's giving him shit and saying like, I don't even like fish anymore. Like Marissa's just like, I'm a little done with fish for now. It's
Well,
just really great.
can we talk about the better part of that?
What?
When they were talking about what a pirate looked like. And Marissa said something about a peg leg and a parrot. And then Summer just goes, parrots? I like parrots. When they go, peacock.
Summer once again proving why she's the best character on the show.
Oh, it was wonderful.
So I just like, it's such a classic, stupid, dumbass Ryan Atwood thing to do. And he almost did it. Like he was about to do it. The only reason he doesn't is because Marissa shows up and gives him, we give Marissa a lot of shit on this show, but she gives him probably one of the best Marissa speeches that have ever happened, which is she's just like, she compares him to her father, which is just like, ooh, got him. She said, my dad left on a boat too, and he was a selfish coward, and so are you. And then she kicks him in the face. And then he decides off screen that he's not going to be a fisherman. The show decides to make that all important choice moment an off screen thing, which debatably good. I kind of wanted a version of the story in which Ryan actually goes out to sea and just realizes he sucks at being a fisherman and he doesn't like it at all. I mean, at least like you could argue that when he was working construction, it was like tangential to his interest and desire, which has always been architecture and building and creating things. But like fishermen, I could see Seth thinking he would like to have a good time on a boat.
I watched this really interesting video today on Facebook.
Okay.
About some villagers who use coconuts for catfish traps.
Okay.
And that's how they fish. So they carve out the coconut, they drain the milk or the water, and then they take these Coca-Cola bottles and they cut those and they make it so that like the fish can swim into the coconut and then can't swim out. And they fill it with some other food, and that's how they catch their catfish, is with coconuts.
Wow.
It was fascinating.
Wow, babe.
And also really gross because catfish are really ugly and weird looking.
Do you like to eat catfish? I don't like catfish. For a while there, I would I think when growing up, my mom made us catfish stuff a lot. And for a while there, I just thought I didn't like the taste of fish. And it turns out it was just catfish. I just don't like catfish very much.
So I'm not a huge catfish fan, but I will say when we were growing up, there was a restaurant called Cajun Catfish that my peepaw loved. And we would go and meet them at Cajun Catfish almost every Sunday after church. And we would have catfish.
Was it fried?
It was fried catfish.
I hate fried fish. I do not like fried fish.
They had the best hush puppies. Oh, it was so good. The hush puppies were so good.
You're making yourself hungry, and you're going to want to go get something.
The restaurant closed, and we went. We went on the last time, or that last weekend. We had some hush puppies and some catfish, and
then you've never eaten either ever again.
I've had hush puppies, but I really don't eat much catfish. No.
That's because you married me.
I really don't like catfish very much. Yeah. If I have to eat it, it's got to be fried, though.
I like tilapia. See, I don't like fried fish. That's my problem. And I feel like it's very rare that you eat catfish that's not fried.
That's true. It's the best way to eat it because it's not a very good tasting fish.
Yeah,
so they have to fry it in order to make it tasty.
You just hide the nasty flavor of the fish with fried breadcrumbs.
Yeah. No, my favorite is salmon. I like swordfish. I like
you ever think about the name of
tilapia.
Swordfish? Someone looked at that fish and said, hey, its nose kind of looks like a sword. Boom.
Not needlefish. Swordfish. I like halibut.
It's like the hammerhead shark. You just look at, someone had to like look at a thing and go like, hammerhead.
Yeah. What came first? The hammer or the hammerhead shark?
Well, I think the shark came first, but then we named it after the hammer was invented.
So it wasn't discovered until after the hammer was invented.
I think probably just if people did see hammerhead sharks before a hammer was invented, which I think hammer is probably like one of the first tools we had, although we probably didn't call it hammer either.
We called it the
Okay. Please do your caveman impression again, please. Please say give me that hammer in caveman.
He ha ho hoo.
But neither of those was hammer, which you just said was huh. You didn't say hammer.
No, I did. I said which was hammer. Okay. I was very methodical about how I answered that question, and I made sure that the last sound that I made was the same sound that I made for hammer.
Could you please now say that hammerhead shark stole my hammer?
I can't do it. There's too many he's and who's and hus.
You're making it up. What do you mean there's too many? You're making it up.
I know, but it makes me laugh.
Okay, the point is...
Can you say it?
No, I can't speak caveman.
Well, sucks to be you.
Oh my god. The point is that Ryan the fisherman is the best part of this episode, and that's my rosies. The end. Can we do the next section now, please? I'm crying.
It's the Scott style section.
Do the voice or the song. The funny thing about that is you can't do that without being really loud. Like, look at the sound wave.
Come on, Sky. Tell me about the style in the OC. Hey, hey, hey. Come on, Sky. Tell me about the style in the OC. Yeah.
I missed it. I missed the I knew you were gonna. I was waiting for you to work the caveman shit into it. I missed that song, and I want to talk to you about T-Mobile.
Oh yes.
And the Sidekick too.
T-Mobile is still around, correct?
Yes. Yes. I believe
Singular.
They merged with someone.
Singular is now AT&T.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of mergers and acquisitions. So obviously the style item of the episode is the T-Mobile or the who made the damn thing?
It was T-Mobile Sidekick.
So they manufactured it too?
Yeah, that was their phone.
Oh, well, I said it wrong before. The T-Mobile Sidekick 2 flip phone, but it's not just, see, neither Taylor nor Summer have like the normal version of this phone. Oh no. They have the bedazzled version
Blinged
of the phone.
Out.
Because it's covered in these beautiful beads. This is pretty 2000, mid 2000s, right? This bedazzling of things.
Oh yeah.
I just want to point something out that had nothing to do with style section, but when I screen capped this image, I got to see what Taylor Townsend was texting to the dean, and also what his name was saved in her phone as. And so I just wanted to comment on this for a bit. First of all, she's texting, LOL, you are so naughty. And she's spelling naughty Nawty. So, and of course, U and R are just U and R. So the show's really on the pulse of the way the children of the mid 2000s spoke. You are so naughty, Dean Hess. Also, his name saved in her phone is Dartman for you. What's that?
Dartmouth?
See, that's what I thought. Like Dartmouth. Did he go to Dartmouth? But like it's not Dartmouth. It's Dartman for you. I don't get it.
It's Taylor. What's there to get?
That's true. We also learned that this episode is set on September 15th from the phone. So that's good.
2:15.
Yeah, 2:15 p.m. There you go. Mm-hmm. It's like a time capsule.
Yeah, right there.
Summer also gets a T-Mobile Sidekick too. Seth, the best boyfriend in the world, buys her one. Hers is also bedazzled, but it's pink.
Oh yeah, because that's better.
She loves it. She loves it. She says,
and you know, these bedazzled things. Did you obviously didn't have one.
Don't ask me if I had a bedazzled phone.
Did you know someone that had their bedazzled phone like that?
I mean, look, I was pretty popular in high school, so I knew all the ladies. No, I didn't. Okay. I did in college, but like it was on. So I went to college. I was in college at this point. So I think it was less popular in college because the girls are a little older. But I knew some people who had some of this stuff on their phone. Yeah.
Well, those are the things you buy them and you put them on your phone, almost like a skin.
Yeah, I remember seeing
it was
them
like
at
a big
mall
sticker,
kiosks, right?
Yeah. And you could decorate them. So like the ones that are smaller were placed differently, but that one around her screen would have been one big sticker that she just had to place all around.
Wait, so when Seth gets Summer a bedazzled T-Mobile Sidekick 2, are you saying it didn't come like that? So did Seth...
I mean, maybe some of them did.
So did Seth bedazzle it?
I don't know. Maybe some of them did. I'm just saying...
I like imagining Seth like meticulously attaching beads to a phone at home just for his wonderful girlfriend, because that shows
he would never do that.
Hey, don't hate on my man. He did it. He got her a phone. So
I mean, I really like Seth, but he would never do that.
He did it, babe. He did it.
He would pay someone to do it. He wouldn't do it. I do love that dress.
Yeah. My next item is this dress that Summer is wearing, which I pulled out specifically because it's an Elyse dress.
Is that really why?
Yes. Describe the dress.
How should I describe this dress? It is, first of all, a blue dress. It's more of like I almost want to say like a peasant pattern, but not
a peasant.
Is
that an actual term? Or are you just being like really mean to peasants?
No, I mean, I feel like it's one of those that it has an older style to it. Yeah, like a peasant pattern.
Oh, like with it has like the
Yeah.
constricted waist. Is it like that? I guess
She has that, and it has the piping around
I
it.
guess kind of. I like the belt too.
Yeah, it has the stripies.
It's like a normal sized belt.
Anyways, it's a really nice dress.
There, once again, I think that a big move of this year is dressing Summer more adulty, less like skanky is maybe not the nicest word, but she did dress very skanky in the first season.
Yeah, all they were trying to do was show her boobs.
Yeah, we had that whole Summer never wears a shirt thing, and now look, she's got this very classy dress on. Mm-hmm. There's one more item that I didn't take a picture of, but I noticed it on this rewatch.
Our second one.
Where Taylor Townsend, the queen of Argyle, finally did not wear an Argyle shirt. She wore a t-shirt, but it's a t-shirt it's a graphic tee with an Argyle pattern on the front. Which, like, you can imagine the wardrobe person finding that tee and being like, we have to do this. We have to. It's perfect. I loved it. I loved it so much. The fashion in this week's episode is on point. Loved it.
It is.
Really wish I got to see Ryan in that yellow slicker though. That fisherman slicker. That would have been nice.
It would have been.
What if Ryan is the man that is killed in I Know What You Did Last Summer?
I never saw that.
Well, there goes my whole joke. Elyse, you want to talk about the relationship status
Sure.
section, which is going to be difficult because we forgot to do it. So we're just going to have to do it live.
Okay. Well, Sandy and Kirsten Cohen, last week they were at a 9 out of 10. And this week I'm actually going to, first of all, keep them at a 9 out of 10. Something that I think is important to note about this episode of the OC in regards to Sandy and Kirsten is that Kirsten trusts Sandy enough to do the Sandy mind meld again. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't have the same reaction that she did whenever he let Seth go, when he's letting Ryan go. Mm-hmm. So I think that shows that they have worked through some things.
Sure.
And that she is trusting of Sandy, and she recognizes that, you know, sometimes you got to let them go in order to let them realize for them to stay.
You got to let them go.
Yeah.
To let them grow, baby.
Yeah. So
that's
anyways.
Parenting 101.
I'm going to keep him at a 9 out of 10.
Okay, that's fair.
And that's why. And Kirsten's doing a great job on her cooking.
She made eggs Benny, which is like this show's code for spending a lot of time cooking is when someone makes eggs Benedict for someone else.
And pad thai with tofu. Homemade pad thai.
Not with shrimp, because we don't like the sea anymore.
I like tofu.
Next up, we have Summer and Seth. Last week, we gave them a 9 out of 10 as well. And you're going to have to do a pretty good job to convince me that we need to knock them down any points if you even want to. Because I think, once again, this is an episode in which really Summer is the focal point of the relationship right now. Summer is the one in dealing with the stuff with Taylor. Summer's the one coming up with the plans, doing the recon, doing everything. And Seth, I think you could argue at the very beginning of the episode, is not being very supportive. He doesn't believe her. She tells him that the Dean and Taylor are having a thing, and he doesn't really believe her. But he comes around, and he comes around to such a way that he's so supportive of her that he buys her that damn sidekick. And I think that's pretty damn good.
Way to go, Seth.
I'm going to give Summer and Seth a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I didn't know we were doing decimals for these.
Oh, we're doing decimals now, baby.
Okay.
Because I wanted to give them a 10, but like, you got to save those 10s.
Yeah,
you got to save
true.
those 10s for big moments.
It's true. So next up we have Ryan and Marissa. And last month they were at a 5 out of 10. And I'm going to keep them at a 5 out of 10 unless you want to drop him down a point. Because I feel like he stayed, so we can't really knock them down a point. But at the same time, he was going to leave, and Marissa was really pissed the entire episode at him. And not until the end did she finally get over it. So I feel like we can't necessarily say they grew, but we can't you know, but I don't want to knock them down because they're trying. They got there at the end.
The episode ends on a happy note with the two of them.
Yeah.
Like where our Fab Four is walking down the beach and everyone's happy and they're talking about Ryan being a fluffer, which is just good times. So I see your point, but I do think it is not a good sign when Marissa has to find out that Ryan is moving away from home to become a fisherman from Sandy and Kirsten.
It's true.
Because he still doesn't communicate very well with her. They have a communication problem. They've always had a communication problem, and they still have a communication problem.
It's true.
They get there, and so the episode ends on a happy note. But yeah, I'm fine. We're definitely not bumping it up, and I'm fine leaving it at a 5 out of 10. Okay. Lots of leaving it this week. All right, so wrap us up. What's our last one?
This is you.
Oh, this is me. Scott, I was just talking to myself. Sometimes I just gotta.
You do that.
I gotta encourage myself. You know. So last but not least, we have our newest couple from last week, Taylor Townsend and Dean Hess. And I think we're donezo with this one, right? I think we're just gonna give them a 0 out of 10 because command from Captain Sandy is that
Dean Hess
has to leave the school and he can only get a job on the East Coast. He has to get as far away from here as possible, go to the East Coast, get a job there, and we won't turn you into the authorities because you have committed a crime. Sandy does things on the show constantly that would get him disbarred like 30 times if anyone ever found out about it. He's one of the most morally righteous characters on the show, but also he does stuff like this all the time. And I'm like, you should have probably just called the cops. Like, you maybe should have just called the cops. Because that is literally a crime. What she is under 18.
But he doesn't actually have the proof.
Well, I understand that.
So he's doing what he could.
Sure. It seemed, so here's another thing I'm not clear on though. So there's the scene where, Summer and Seth have tricked Taylor into going to the seedy motel thinking she's meeting up with the dean for some statutory rape. And
I shouldn't laugh at that, but I did.
And so they confront her and they're trying to get her to spill everything. And this scene ends with the show kind of implying that she's about to tell them everything. And then we cut immediately from that to Sandy confronting the dean. He's got the flip phone. He makes up the lie that he has a picture of the two of them kissing at the dance, which they don't have. But he also does say that we have the girl is saying that it was more than just a kiss, that you have a relationship. Mm-hmm. The show is not clear on whether she actually like came forward and like told them anything, or she just stayed totally silent. And he's just making that part up too. It's weird that he's
bluffing.
I know he's bluffing about the picture, but it's weird that they ended the scene without her saying definitively whether or not she was going to talk or not. That's weird. This is a weird episode. Sorry. It's kind of cut weird. But anyway.
Ghost didn't like it either. She just groaned.
Yeah, that's our old dog. Every time she moves, she groans.
I feel you, Ghost.
I think they're done though. I'm going to put a 0 out of 10. And if I'm wrong, we'll bring them back.
Okay.
But 0 out of 10.
Okay. Better change that on there then. That way we know for next time.
Yeah, there we go. No,
30 out of 10.
30 out of 10.
30.
Okay.
Right. Scott, next episode is called The Swells.
Ooh.
So what do you think next week we're going to be watching about?
I think
then also you have to look up the title for episode 7 because we're doing 2 a week.
No, we're not going to do that. That's too. We don't have time to do that. We don't have time. I think it's going to be a play on words because we're meant to think like swells of like waves. And so like maybe there's going to be a storm hitting Newport and also it'll be a literal storm and a metaphorical storm. But I'm going to go another way and say it's just going to be a couple of swell guys having a good time at the beach.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
There are. I hope so. Well, everyone, that's all that we have time for this week.
We're back, though.
So we are back. Happy to see you in 2021.
Well, we're not seeing them. It's radio.
Yeah, I know. That's usually my joke.
What?
You're usually the one that's like, see you next week. And I'm like, except we don't see him. But it's fine. we're happy that you're listening to us in 2021.
We are.
And that
We're so happy.
You have made it to 2021.
Yeah, if you're listening to this, you survived 2020. Congratulations.
Yes, you did. And if you happen to like this podcast, you can check out all the other shows that we do over at doofmedia.com. Are there any fun shows coming out this week or next week, Scott, that are noteworthy here?
Well, on Saturday, our monthly game club is meeting where Ruben and Elliot will be talking about the game Baba Is You, which is a puzzle game.
Have you played it?
I have not played it, but during that show, they're also going to announce the winners of their annual video game awards. They've dubbed the Clubbies. There was a big voting amongst our patrons over the last couple weeks on that.
That's fun.
And the results are in, and they will be announcing them this Saturday. So definitely attend that live stream, even if you haven't played Baba Is You, because you'll get to see who won the Best Game of the Year award. I know already. I know. I'm not going to tell you, but I know.
You can tell me after this.
I won't. You have to.
Such
you have
a
to
good
attend.
secret
You have to
keeper.
attend the game club. Also, I mean, just all our new shows. All our shows are continuing. Kingslingers is continuing. Doofcast, Do the Right Thing, Pale Reflections. All these shows have new episodes this week and going forward.
They have also survived to 2021.
All those shows survived. So they're just keeping on, keeping on. There's a lot of great content. We had our book club last week. We talked about another Brando Sando book called Warbreaker.
And then next month's book club, you can go ahead and tell them now. That way, if they want to read it, they have enough time.
Just go to doofmedia.com/book club.
Oh, okay. I said that because I'm staring at it.
I don't remember the name of it.
That's why I said that. But
Yeah.
yeah.
You can also consider becoming a patron of Doof Media. You can head on over to patreon.com/doofmedia, and you have a bunch of different levels of donations, and each of them has their own unique rewards that will give you free stuff like bonus shows and live streams.
And the ability to vote in things like the book club and the clubbies.
That is true. The ability to vote in the clubbies, which is to say there is also a vote going on right now. We're having our quarterly Do the Right Thing writing contest where some of our writers submit their stories. And then our patrons get to vote on the best story, and the winners win money. It's like a stimulus check, but from Patreon.
So cool.
Yay.
And we understand that not everybody always has money that they're able to donate and become a patron. But if you happen to be listening via Apple Podcasts, you can just head on over there and drop us a rating and review.
Yep.
Something super free and able to show us your support. And we appreciate that too.
Super free.
Yep.
Super free.
Soup's free.
It's super free. Yeah, yo.
It's a super freebie.
That's better.
Yeah,
That's better.
I
You took
knew
it. You took it and you improved it.
I did.
That's like
what
you
I've just done
that's
with
what
you.
do with me.
Yeah.
Like hopefully that's my son. Is you just take me, but like better, and that's my son.
I think that's basically what I've done.
I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.